Hey there! Welcome to the Disc Golf Network's coverage of the 2022 Santa Cruz Masters Cup presented by Innova. We are catching our FPO lead card on the final round here at the Delaveaga Golf Course, Disc Golf Course. I'm Ella Hansen.
And I'm Raymond Klein.
We're going into round 3. I have a 3-stroke lead over Ohn Scoggins, and we're going to be joined by Maria Oliva and Jessica Weese on the lead card.
We're starting off this round with hole 1. It's a par 3, 335 feet. It's fairly open. The cart path is not out of bounds. You're going to see some players taking a forehand approach, swinging it wide and trying to get a skip toward the green, or a lot of backhand turnovers that'll land a little bit flat and hopefully slide up for that bid at a birdie.
All right, welcome to the 2022 Masters Cup. This is the lead card in the Women's Pro Division. First on the tee from Seattle, Washington, Ella Hansen.
I'm throwing that backhand turnover line with a super flippy mid, just trying to scoot it up inside the circle.
That was a great shot.
Next on the tee from Los Angeles, Ohn Scoggins.
Owen's going to show us the forehand line.
With the low approach.
Getting a good tree there, honestly. That area down to the right is
Next on the tee from Broward,
not
Texas, Maria Oliva.
Maria taking the backhand turnover with a little bit more of a stable disc and executes it nicely, getting
Coming
inside
up the
circle
lead card
2.
From Grass Valley, California, Jessica Weese.
You can see this morning it was incredibly foggy on the course for like the first 45 minutes to an hour, I would say.
Got a little chilly out there. Jess also going with the forehand, also a little bit inside, but she'll have an opening up to the basket.
Oh, and looking like she shot, a little bit far on that approach.
She settles just at the edge of circle 1.
Unlike the course for the last 2 days, the greens are not nearly as treacherous for their elevation change, but a lot of baskets are going to be really tight to sand traps, which are playing as hazards.
And this green, like a few on the front half of the course, is going to have that rough down kind of behind you as we see Ohn lining up semi-death putt here.
Not for Ohn. Ohn only sees basket.
She does. Squeaks it in over the cage for her par. Yeah, getting a little replay.
Just on the nub.
Surfing it off the top of the cage.
That's a great putt.
Thanks. Felt good to get the birdie on that one to kick it off. Jess makes good on her par. And Maria, par as well. Pretty well played for the lead card. Hole 2, 360 feet. Kind of going across this golf green. It's a fairly wide open shot here. And the basket is on top of a small ridge, and we've got some death behind to the right of the basket, and this kind of big tree right in the basket area.
For the most part, you can really take any line you want here because there is nothing in the way.
Yeah. Players are going to be looking to throw their most comfortable shots. I was a little surprised to see Ohn throwing a backhand here. I was expecting her to throw a sidearm, but she gets it up there pretty good.
I like the backhand play, and I saw quite a few people like hitting right at the concrete and getting that skip up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Maria swinging that a little bit wide, hoping that comes back. Oh, she pumps it.
Yeah, she turned that over a little bit, but she caught that tree and didn't go too far down into the rough.
Just throwing the forehand, swinging it wide. That's a great skip. Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful.
great shot.
Similar to hole one, this cart path is inbounds.
So Maria's here in the rough trying to throw a scramble.
It's great out.
Great shot.
Leave herself with about 15 feet.
And Ohn just laying it up. It's the kind of green where if you miss, you might be going real far back. So I'm also laying it up.
Smart plays. You're going to see a lot of golf type shots out here today.
Mm-hmm. Just giving it a bid. She ends up a little left, but cashes her birdie putt, or excuse me, her par putt.
I like seeing her change her putt approach there to try and avoid any type of roll away.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly more of the lob. Maria always just lasering her putt into the basket.
Yeah, well, that's a really great par save for her.
And a par for you as well.
Yep. Taking the par. Little star par there for the lead card.
Fire up the barbecue.
All right, hole 3. It's the first par 4 of the round and the first par 4 of the tournament. This one's pretty wide open. The cart path on the right is OB, right on the cart path and over. The main issues on this are going to be the green on the right and the sand trap on the left. It's pretty easy with the sloping green to kind of filter down into the sand trap, so you got to be really cautious on your approach.
Just rip it.
Got a hold of my cloud breaker pretty good there.
I like this hole because it's pretty much the first time in the tournament that everyone can just throw their hardest.
Yeah. Definitely a big shift mentally going from
make me feel so bad.
going from Dela's disc golf course to the golf course. Very different styles of golf.
I just want a whole round with Ohn mic'd up.
Yeah. That would be epic.
Maria turning hers over, really hoping that kind of, more than I thought. I was hoping she'd be able to hit ground and cut roll back.
Yeah, I was hoping she would do that or hit the cart path, but she'll be OB over there. Just throwing more of a high flex shot.
Very nice, Jazz.
Getting some good distance there.
Ohn with a nice grip on it.
Trying to play away from the sand trap. Gets a little bit of a roll, but she'll be inside circle 2.
There is nothing behind the basket that plays as a hazard or OB, so sometimes you'll see people approach a little bit further than they might normally, just to avoid going into one of the two. Ooh.
Maria pushing it kind of close to that green there, but she stays safe. Just throwing a big high spike forehand.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Gets herself well inside the circle. And I'm just looking at a jump putt. I'm not going for it, though. Just trying to lay up a jump putt.
I was saying, you're sure you're not going for it?
I was like, oh, maybe.
Gets that to
but
nestle just inside the bullseye.
I just wanted it to sit down and not roll into the hazard.
A little high, but sits down.
I think that was the softest putt I've ever seen Maria putt.
Oh, great putt.
Gets it to drop right in the chains there, picking up a birdie. Classic Ohn putt. Oh yeah, let's see it again. Man, it's so wobbly out of her hand,
but it
it's,
never tracks outside of the chains.
Yeah, she's just always hitting chains, aiming right there.
I do like the wobble in her putt because I feel like no matter what the wind is, she doesn't have to change anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jessica there grabbing her birdie on hole 3. And a tap-in birdie for you.
Woo.
Woo!
Maria looking to get a... Ooh! That got a little fancy on the rim there, but she gets a bogey there. So after 3 holes, I'm 2 down, Ohn 1 down. We've got Sarah Hokum 1 down and Katrina Allen 2 down and just 1 down. Getting some under par strokes on the first couple of holes here.
Nice to see after the last 2 days. Here we have hole 4. It's another par 4 at 606 feet. You're going to see pretty much every player just pumping one into this field. The cart path on the right is OB, but it's difficult to get that far to the right. You might see some players laying up just shy of the sand and then pitching up for their 4. And if they're close enough, you might, behind the basket is safe.
And the basket is sort of on top of a ridge, but which drops off behind, but it's still safe back there.
Yeah, I believe it's just like the golf, not the green, but the
Tee box.
the tee box. Yeah. I was like, what's that called? That's a great shot.
Thank you. Yeah, just trying to get it out there as far as I can. Ripping a backhand as well.
And a good flight out of that disc.
And it really, it kind of changes your approach angle on this hole, whether you're push a little straighter or finish left or right, but it doesn't punish you necessarily to go left or right off your drive.
Just throwing that a little bit low, but still getting a good chunk out of the fairway.
Maria looking like a little too much turnover, but it flexes out really nicely.
Off the tee, those always look like they're scarier going toward the sidewalk, and then they're almost always in.
Yeah. Ohn's with another full power rip. Just pushing
And
it
safe.
close to that tee box, but safe. Just going with the forehand approach, and she catches the bunker right there. Whew. Maria giving it a little bit of a run. That's a tough angle too, because you want to get it up over the bunker but not go too far past the basket.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be putting at the bunker.
And I threw it a little too soft, and I end up in that bunker as well.
Not wanting any part of it. Great putt. Actually, I think I might have said that on the course.
It felt good to save the par. Just looking to save the par as well, just catching band.
Great putt by Maria.
Good birdie too.
I feel like you sometimes see those band hits when someone switches from a straddle or from a stagger to a straddle because you have that little extra leg power.
A little too strong.
We spend so much time hiking.
Yeah, got that quad power.
I'm not to be underestimated. Like, I'm really not. I've got something to prove. I'm literally gonna be one of the best in the world. It's as simple as that. Don't underestimate me.
That was rad.
Hole 5, par 3, 238 feet. We're flying this outside route here. It's a very, very sharp left to right here. Most players are going to be throwing a forehand. There is sort of a straight gap down the right side that players might be going for. Maria looking at that straight gap, but pushing it a little bit left, catching a tree.
The big concern with going for that inner line is if you catch any of those trees and shoot to the right, you are looking at an incredibly steep cliff.
Yeah. Cliff and jail.
Some thorns.
I'm just playing it out wide, throwing a forehand. I'm not really looking to birdie this hole. Ohn throwing her trusty pink destroyer, getting a wild skip over there.
Thank you.
Up to the edge of the path. That path is safe. Jess throwing the forehand line as well. It's pushing a little straighter than she'd want. And it rolls down to the edge of the rough here. Maria with a patent pending to get around the tree.
Pushing a little deep, but she should be just at the edge of the circle with an uphill putt.
And I'm just trying to lay this up, land it soft on those wood chips, and not go too far from the basket.
This hole didn't play very difficult for the most part today, and I think it's just because everyone was going for the 3.
Just pitching out. Maria with a long putt for par. Just a little bit left. And Ohn is going to be the only real birdie look on our card, and she makes it good. The rest of us will look to just tap in Jess for the par.
There were 3 other birdies on the day for this hole, and it was Sarah Holcomb, Katrina Allen, and Ellen Widboom.
It's a solid birdie. Maria taking a bogey after hitting that early tree.
And the nice, easy par tap in. Hole 6, we have a 276-foot par 3. You do have to shoot over this gully of trees and I assume monsters. Most people can just throw pretty much straight at it. I saw quite a few mid-ranges, and then the green itself is fairly flat.
Yeah, that tree you can see from the tee pad, that big tree. You can't really see the basket from the tee, but the tree is almost like
Thank you.
15, 20 feet from the basket. So if you can get it to that spot, you're looking at a good chance at birdie. And I was trying to not turn it over too much, and I did the opposite, but scooted off the edge of the green. Stayed safe. Not a good shot, but I'll take it.
I do really like the forehand play on this one. I think the forehand allows you to get a skip and actually end up really close to the basket.
Mm-hmm. Whew. Just giving that a little bit of an ace run there.
There is, of course, a slight cliff behind the basket, but not as treacherous as some of the ones we've dealt with.
Maria throwing a nice little
beautiful
turnover there. Super smooth, getting it inside the circle.
I assume mostly just laying up.
Yeah, not trying to make that, just getting it up under the basket.
Just outside the bullseye. For you. Just giving it a run.
Ooh, good bid there.
Just right of the basket. Ohn grabbing another birdie.
You can see how close that tree is to the basket. It doesn't seem like that from the tee, but it really is right there. I'm tapping in a par. And Maria getting the birdie as well. And a par for Jess.
Overall, that hole was played fairly well, so that was nice to see.
All right, checking in on our leaderboard. Sarah Hokum putting together a solid round here. 4 down. Now she's just 3 strokes off the lead. Ohn 3 down, 2 strokes off the lead. And I'm hanging in there at 2 down. Hole 7 is a par 4. This path and right is out of bounds. We are playing to an island green, so your first shot trying to land right around in this area, and a lot of players will be throwing a forehand or just kind of trying to throw straight into this kind of pocket green here. OB long left and right. And we're teeing off from the OB, so you want to make sure that you keep your disc left. And Ohn getting a kind of a weird reaction off the ground there and scooting just over the path out of bounds. The shape looked good, I think just a little bit low for her.
Maria flexing something to try to get a little more distance. I really love that play. You will see a fair number of women hyzering most of the way just to make sure that they end up safe. But that can leave them a little short and have a tough go at the green.
I was a little scared of the OB, so I'm laying it out a little wider than I would like, but getting some good distance. And I'll have an open look at the basket from there.
With how much space there is on the left side, even if you fade away from the path, you can push forward and still get a really straight look at the basket.
Just throwing the turnover a little low, but she gets some good ground action there and stays just safe.
Ohn lining up this forehand approach into the green.
She cannot see the basket from here, so she is just trying to spike it in, but pushes a little inside, and that will be a second OB stroke for her.
Okay, so now I go drop zone, right?
So she's actually throwing from the same spot because the rules on this hole, if you don't land in on the island on your second shot, you just rethrow, but she makes a good shot on her second opportunity and gets up into the island.
It's a good adjustment. Just lining up a very similar shot, but hers is from inbounds. Swinging a little bit wider than Ohn.
And she'll find herself just outside the circle. I got a bit of a different angle. I'm kind of just throwing straight at the basket.
It's a nice shot. Sliding up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't get as much ground play at this course as we did the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Maria going straight at it with the backhand as well. Pushing a little to the right, but that's a good shot as well.
Looks like she'll be clear of that tree for her putt.
I've got a long jump putt. Trying to give it a run. But I'm happy with the par on this hole.
from mid-circle 2, releasing that low and right. Definitely not what you wanted on that release.
Jess with a look at birdie from just outside the circle. Height looked good, just a little bit left for her.
An Ohn from the edge.
Saving a double bogey there. Great putt for her.
Maria grabbing a par here. And a par for you as well.
Jessica looking to tap in her par. There we go.
I feel like this is some of the only shade on the course.
Yeah. Very different from the disc golf course. A lot of sun once that fog cover burned off.
Here we have hole 8. It's a par 3, 333 feet. This cart path plays as a river, and there is a mandatory on the right there for the tree. So if you were to land in the grass right next to the mandatory before crossing it, you are in bounds. Most players are going to just try and shoot straight and hyzer out on the left side.
This is a tough one because it has such a low ceiling, so you want to push it down, but that cart path can get you. Maria hits the opposite edge of the curb and stays safe on the grass there.
You'll see a lot of people, because of the low ceiling, unfortunately grabbing the road and then not being able to skip up because of the curb. Oh, you snuck through. Jeez.
Yeah, really snuck through that tree. Just
there you go.
Under and over a couple branches.
I've also seen some people throw the high flex on the forehand to get around the tree and fade back in.
Just playing it low and getting a cut roller. That was a roller coaster. She ends up out of bounds.
There is a drop zone on this hole right underneath the tree on the right.
Thank you.
Great shot from Ohn.
But even though Jess crossed over, she cut rolled back to the other side of this path, so that's where she will take it from. Just pitching it up right underneath the basket.
Maria getting a nice save from the curb, allowing her that step putt bid. She'll be inside the bullseye for her par.
Ohn giving it a bid, catching some flagpole.
Good save by the flag. Oh no.
Yeah,
I was
Ohn,
going to say that was one of her faster.
yeah, she went a little too fast, just missing. She's disappointed by that.
And grabbing the birdie.
Thank you, tree. Just tapping in a bogey. And Ohn will take a bogey as well.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then we have hole 9. This is a par 3, 366 feet. There's a tree right off the tee pad, which kind of gets in your head. This cart path is out of bounds, but everything to the left actually plays as a hazard instead of OB. So if you land over there, take your stroke, but you play from that spot. You'll see some people doing a flex with a more stable disc, or possibly just pumping a mid-range down the middle.
Trying to throw something flippy out there. Get a little too much flip, but it's a safe play.
There is still the sand hazard, and then there is an OB green if you get a real good hold of it.
Mm-hmm. Maria throwing a nice shot, trusting her disc
It's looking great.
to turn. Getting up there pretty far, just outside of the circle. Jessica lining up the high forehand here. She's throwing it basically straight at that hazard area. and catches one of those trees, but
That's a great play.
she's in a good spot. Ohn playing more of that turnover line. Getting a lot of glide, but she settles down right there.
Never quite coming back out of that line, but at least she's in the clear. A bit of a half jump, half step.
Just trying to get it up to the basket. And Ohn getting aggressive with the jump putt. Getting herself
the
a
run
little
up.
run up.
She'll be just outside the bullseye, it looks like. Just with a great look. Left side of the basket. This one is definitely one that feels good if you can grab it.
And this green is relatively safe, especially if you're putting from down here, so you can confidently give it a bid and not be too worried about any bad rollaways or any danger, even though that OB is right there.
Grabbing that par. This hole came in around the 7th most difficult, and there were no birdies on the day.
Well, that's surprising to me.
I definitely thought there would be a couple.
Yeah.
'Cause with the downhill from the tee, the distance is gettable for most of the women out here.
Yeah.
That wraps up our front 9 for the final round of the Masters Cup for 2022. Ella, your front 9 was spotless, no bogeys,
Yep.
great to watch. Ohn just catching a couple problems there at the end, but started really clean. And Sarah and Katrina with a 5 down each on their front 9.
Pretty sick.
That's exactly what you want to see from the chase card.
Yeah, they're giving us lead card folks a run for our money here. Thank you for catching the front 9 with us. I'm Ella Hansen.
And I am Raven Klein, and we can't wait to see you join us for the back 9.